the women. I was just emphasizing that women of substance, like the women we have here and the many women that we have in Limpopo.
Judge Kgomo, I will ask you to repeat what you said about women of substance, about BMW and Benz. Please repeat that.
Oh, yes, I was saying, maybe I may have put it the wrong way. I was saying the many women who I've seen entering the profession as attorneys, mostly, didn't last. After they finished their articles, they would always be offered positions in the civil service. And normally the positions that they got, say, were positions where they were going to be entitled as a norm to expensive motor vehicles, which I thought maybe it was an enticement that was impoverishing the attorney's profession. With a sense, at the end of the day, Honorable Commissioner Malema, that lady who has gone to the civil service in that position in the legal advisory section of a department is lost to the profession. When the time comes for us to look for women who can come and act and gain experience, she's not there because she is in the civil service, not as a magistrate, not as a prosecutor. That is what actually happened. We have lost a lot of very capable young women who are comfortable now and ensconced in very cushy positions in the civil service. Whereas if they were on the ground...
Judge Kgomo,
yes,
it would help us a great deal if you could just focus on the question
yes.
put to you and answer it as briefly as possible.
Thank
if they
you.
need elaboration,
Thank you,
they
sir.
will say so.
Thank you.
Don't volunteer it, please.
Thank you very much, sir.
Judge Kgomo,
Yes,
it
sir.
is becoming more difficult for me sitting here, listening to judges who are supposed to lead by example, becoming spinners at the same time. You don't have to spin anything. I'm asking you to repeat the sexist remark you made, that women of substance are not in the profession because they went to opportunities that provide Mercedes-Benz and BMW, creating an impression that women are after material things such as BMW and Mercedes-Benz. Is that not a sexist statement?
Sir, Honorable Commissioner, it was not meant to be a sexist statement. It was meant to be a factual statement of what actually happens on the ground. Not that I was putting aspersions, casting aspersions on the women. It is happening where we have lost younger women who has gone into the civil service and are lost to the professions. That's all I meant, not as a sexist statement.
But you are repeating it. You are saying it's a fact that women chase material.
Not that
You're saying it's a fact. It's not a fact that women are chasing BMW and Mercedes-Benz. That's a sexist statement.
No, sir. What I'm saying about it being a fact is that it is so that after qualifying, instead of remaining in the profession where we can pick on them, we normally lose them to the civil service where they cannot be brought back into the...
And then the younger generation, what is your view about mentoring and upbringing of younger people in the profession?
The younger generation, it is our duty, it's my duty as an experienced member of the profession, sir, to mentor any younger people that are there, like they are doing. Every now and then they will always call upon me and I would always help them with whatever things they need in the process of building them up in the profession. And I've done that regularly.
So if we find a young person, don't you think this JP is capable enough with the experience he has to mentor that young person to become one of the best so that that young person can continue the legacy which you at the JP can leave?
Honorable Councillor Malema, sir, through the chair and this honorable commission, it is so that it may be correct what the honorable councillor is saying, but the fact remains, sir, I believe that the JP needs me at the moment because most of the time as the head of the court, he is absent from the court. It needs, as this court is studied now, it needs somebody like me who will be on the ground mentoring these younger people who are there, either as acting judges or some of the already appointed members of the judiciary.
Let me just simplify it, CJ. Is the JP experienced and capable enough to can mentor any young person to become one of the best JPs we have in the country?
That
No,
is-
let's not talk about you, just
Yes.
your view about the capacity and the capabilities of our current JP to mentor a young person and make sure that that person becomes one of the best judges in the country.
Perfectly, Honorable Commissioner. Our JP is very capable of doing that job. The only disadvantage is that he is not on the ground mostly.
Let me just interject here. What do
Yes.
you mean by that, Judge Kgomo? I'm the head of the judiciary and head of the Constitutional Court. I'm on the ground. And I
Yes.
have reason to believe that since I'm in charge of also the magistracies around the country,
Yes.
I am busier than the JP, and yet I'm on the ground for the judges at the Constitutional Court,
Yes,
even those who are acting. Why would the JP not be available to mentor judges? What does he do that takes him away from his core responsibility?
No, nothing takes him away from his core responsibilities, Honorable Chair.
Why would he not be there to mentor them?
That's why I say he is capable of doing that job of mentoring.
No,
Honorable
no,
Chair.
you say you would be the prime minister. I don't know why you like this political title. You would be the prime minister while he's busy with other things. What is it that he would be busy with?
I was
And
mean-
where?
I only meant, Honorable Chair, that by the term Prime Minister, maybe it's an unfortunate term. It is that is because I will be most of the time in the court, either in Polokwane or Toyando, wherever the JP would have posted me, and doing the work and acting to assist him.
No, let's
in-
clarify it. I don't want an impression to be created that JPs are all over the shore, away from where they should be.
Yes.
What is it that you think would take him away from the seat of court?
Now, the only thing that would take him away, Honorable Chair, is when he goes for these occasional meetings.
Yeah.
Which,
Like which ones?
Like this one, Honorable Chair.
And which other one?
Like the heads of court meetings.
Which happens twice in a year.
That is correct. Yeah,
So
that
why
is-
would he not be available to mentor?
He will be available, but
Oh.
yeah, he will be available.
All
Maybe it is an unfortunate
Oh, I thought
choice of words.
I thought I had to clear that. Commissioner Malema.
Thank you, sir.
Do you admit that you are making the second unfortunate statement?
Yeah, it is a mistake, Honorable Chair.
And
Malema.
that can lead to lack of judgment.
I leave it to the able decision of this Honorable.
I'm not interviewing this honorable committee, I'm interviewing you.
Honorable
Don't you
Malema,
think the statement on women, Benz and BMW, and casting aspersion on the JP and creating an impression that it's an absent JP, it's a serious misjudgment?
yes, from what I have learned and after the guidance from the Chief Justice, I realized it was an error on my part, and I really am sorry for that.
Even the woman's statement was also an error on your part.
Yes, it was not meant to be as it has come out and how Honorable Commissioner has analyzed it. It was an innocent statement which could have some double-edged sword, and I regret it.
You know, let me tell you before other commissioners put questions to you, what concerns me. The statement you made in relation to your impact while in partnership with the JP as attorneys is that the practice was not growing until you graced it with your presence. Only then did the practice grow. Also, that the JP does not know what he's doing. He doesn't even know that certain forms are required for administrative purposes, and it doesn't even look like he knows where to obtain them. That is why people are not even coming to him. They come to you because you are more of a visionary leader, more effective leader than he is, and you took it upon yourself to source forms from other divisions, a thing he ought to have done but failed to do. That's the unfortunate impression, and I put it no higher than that.
Honorable Chair,
And it doesn't even look like you asked him, JP, can I do this? I'm doing this. You are the one now that the public and people come to quietly on the side. You don't inform the JP. You don't even ask him whether you could assume that responsibility.
That is
One
not-
can only wonder what would happen should you become DJP now.
that is not the position, Honorable Chair. I have taken my JP on board when it comes to these aspects. When we meet in our judges' meetings, he can vouch for that. I've taken it up with him. What I was saying was that I have actively thereafter played a role in trying to source these documents because we agreed that whatever can be helpful to the division should be done. I have not at any stage, Your Honor, cast aspersions on the capability of my JP of growing. Not that he was not growing the profession when I came. I was just saying after I came in, I have seen us prosper. Not that he was not prospering. He was a single man practice at the time I came in, and I was an able assistant to him. He was still the boss, still the man who was generating and mentoring me. He was my trainer.
Commissioner Mutimele?
Thank you very much, CJ. Good morning, Judge Kgomo.
Good morning, Commissioner, Honorable Commissioner.
Yeah, it's quite a pleasure to see you from my province. We meet all the way in the mother city,
Thank you, sir.
Mushate,
Umrol,
Tobel. Judge Kgomo, the question I'm going to ask you, in all fairness, I should tell you why. It goes to judgment and discretion. First question. Where I'm sitting, I represent the profession. The profession is crying out for transformation in relation to work, briefing pattern, both black practitioners and women. And the standard excuse is the good ones get grabbed by corporate and government. They're running after Mercedes-Benz and BMW. Have you heard that before?
Yes, there are times talk of like that, Honorable Commissioner, but I don't subscribe to that, although I've heard of it.
Yeah, it will be insensitive, isn't it?
It will be, sir.
Next question. May I, with respect, direct your attention to the nomination form, page 3, paginated 3, the letter of nomination dated the 12th February 2016.
Yes.
And in this regard, I'm worried by the extent to which you fraternize with staff from your command that they come to you, you solve problems, they're scared to go to the DG. I just want to test something. I see you nominated, let's just go through it, Judge. Have you found the page?
Yes, sir.
I read, we, and then is the name of 5 staff members, in our capacity as staff members of Limpopo Court, do hereby nominate Judge Nale Franz Kgomo to be considered for the position of deputy. You see that?
Yes, sir.
I'm interested at the level of these staff members who nominated you. Can we go to the next page because they are there?
Yes.
Would you just take the commission into your confidence? The first one, Moabi, at what level is she?
The first one is a Judge's Secretary, Honorable Chair, Honorable Commissioner.
Which judge?
It's
Your
not-
secretary.
No, it's not my secretary.
You don't know which judge?
She is not having a permanent judge at the moment. She's working just for judges, they come acting judges and people. And she has been, she may, of late, my colleague, Judge Raulinga, has indicated that he may want to
Very
take
well. Let's make progress. RM Tlalengi, what is the level?
R.M. Tatling is my personal secretary.
Judge Kgomo, let's just go down. Auxiliary team, down.
Yes.
The next one, DK Mutlaka, at what level is she?
This one, I don't know, Honorable. When I requested, I found that she's working somewhere in the usher or a stenographer, but I don't know her personally.
Asha.
Usher or
Okay, the
yeah,
last
but
one
I
is-
don't know her personally.
The last one is Mutala. M. Mutala.
Equally, I don't know this person, but I learned she's working somewhere in the administration downstairs. I don't know this person, whether it's a man or a woman, sir.
But you follow the point I'm trying to make.
I get the point.
Junior staff at that level
Yes.
come together, have a meeting, and nominate you, and you accept it.
Sir, I had no choice but to accept. If they are nominating me, I
very-
felt that I should just accept.
Very well. The last question, on a much lighter note, on paginated 22 of the forms, in your CV,
Yes.
have you found the page, Judge Kgomo?
Yes, sir.
Right on top, subheading I, religious and political affiliation, and you have an A and a B. Can you see that?
Yes.
And then B, you said retired member of the ANC.
Yes, sir. I had to be honest.
I haven't
Just-
asked the question.
Yes.
Would you like me to ask the question?
Please,
Very
sir.
well. At what age do you retire in the ANC?
Sir, when I was still in the profession, I had been a member. But the moment I was appointed to the judiciary, I had to let that membership lapse.
You haven't.
Because
you-
I had to be seen to be impartial.
Judge
in
Kgomo, you
whatever.
don't say you resigned from a political party. You say you are retired. I'm asking you at what age you retire in the ANC.
Maybe it's an unfortunate choice of words.
Thank you very much, Judge Kgomo.
Thank you.
CJ.
Thank you, Advocate Mutimele. Commissioner Stock.
No, thank you very much, CJ. Good morning, Judge Kgomo.
Good morning, Honorable Commissioner.
Can you please just give me a brief understanding or the logic of a nomination which has been done by a staff member? Can you please just tell us what is the logic? In a sense that, to be simplified, do you approach these staff members to nominate or they nominate you themselves? So what would be the logic?
Sir, I did not approach the members of staff myself. At the time when the nominations for these positions came about, I was working outside court and I was not aware of the nomination. But immediately I became aware and I decided I'm going to put in an application. I approached my legal body, the Black Lawyers Association, for a nomination, and I waited for such nomination. Whilst I was still waiting for that nomination, Your Honor, I do not know, that's when I received this document as a nomination. And I felt like, now that it is here, I should just hand it, deal with it as part of the nomination. And as fate would have it, Your Honorable Chair, because I've kept on inquiring from the BLA up to the day before the closure of nominations, I was told on that day, the evening of the day before the nomination, because that was the nomination I was going to use, that the BLA in Limpopo had decided that they had already nominated somebody, and then as a result, I had to use this. Had I had the choice, I wouldn't have used it.
Judge Kgomo, will you agree with me if I say to you, a personal assistant is somebody that works very close with you?
It is so, it is correct, Honorable Chair.
Now, is it possible that your personal assistant can nominate you without you knowing that she or he has nominated you for whatever position? Is it possible?
That is what-
Because this is the person that works with you very closely, even after working hours. So
That
you are
is what,
supposed to.
that is what had happened in this case, Honorable Commissioner. It has happened. I was not aware that she was part of the group that nominated me until I saw the document. And I asked her on the day, because I had to take in the application to the JSC personally on the last day, why has she been part of that group? She said now she has done it out of her heart. And I left it as such an honor. It was not, no malice intended.
Judge Kgomo, my last question to you would be, in regard to the unity and collegiality or the judge presidents, and also in the context of the position that you are applying for. If it happens that you are appointed for this position, do you think that there'll still be a good working relationship between yourself and the staff members that have nominated you, including the judge president?
Definitely, Honorable Commissioner, through the chair, there will be no change in the working relationship between me and my JP as well as the staff members. Whether I succeed or do not succeed in this body will not change my work ethic, Honorable Commissioner. I will still work as myself, because being a deputy judge president will not change how I would approach my work as well as my relationship with my judge president and any of the staff members. There will be no prejudice to anybody, and the work will be done like before.
Thank you, CJ.
Thank you, Commissioner Stock. You know, I get more and more concerned. Did you find this drafted already, just waiting for your signature when you came back?
Say, the draft I found the day before.
Oh, no. Before you signed, did you dictate the nomination, or did you find it ready, just waiting for your signature?
Honorable Chair, it was just brought to me as it is.
Right.
Yes.
Who allowed them to use the letterheads of the judiciary? Because right at the top stands our logo now,
I see.
Judiciary Republic of South Africa.
I take it, Honorable Chair, that because they are employees of the department. They
No, but
used-
that's only for a judge to use.
Yes. I do not
You
know
were
what
not
they did.
nominating yourself.
Yes.
Under which circumstances you would be allowed to use our letterhead or our logo.
It is so,
It
yeah.
is these cleaner, is it the PA and ushers who were writing something, communicating to the JSC?
Yes.
Did you take it up with them that they are not permitted to use the letterhead and logo of the judiciary?
I did not, Honorable Chair.
Because I raise it because you can just imagine how many other letters would go out with the logo of the judiciary,
I
with the
did not-
letterhead of the judiciary.
Unfortunately, I did not take it up with them, Honorable Chair. It may be a very big mistake also on my part.
Yes,
I acknowledge.
yes. Commissioner Nyambi?
Thank you, CJ. Judge Kgomo,
Yes, Honorable Commissioner.
I want to believe that you want to paint a picture for us to understand what you're explaining about the letter.
Yes.
Explain a scenario to us where you'll have your PA signing a document on your behalf and you don't have knowledge of the content, so that we can see that that is possible. Besides this one, any other scenario where you have your PA that will have been part of a document that has been prepared on your behalf and you don't know that document?
Honorable Commissioner, the PAs and the staff of the court have access to the logos of the department on their systems. When I write letters from my office as a judge, I've got a particular, my own letterhead with my names at the top. There is a possibility that they had used this document that they have on their systems to write this document, Your Honor. If it was with my permission and writing, maybe but they can't use my secretary has also my letterhead on her system. how she used the government departmental logo is besides me, Honorable Commissioner.
Let's leave others and just talk about your PA.
Yes.
Now that we are aware that your PA has used a letterhead and you have signed it, what's your view about it? How do you
It is
see
wrong.
yourself?
It is wrong. I'm going to bring it to her attention not to use it again, not to do that again. If it is for something personal, it must be on a clean piece of paper, not using the logo of the department that is reserved for the judiciary for such a purpose, Honorable Commissioner.
I want to get it correct. We are just saying it's wrong and that's it. We are going to bring to her attention that no, this is wrong and that's
No,
it.
that's why, in that sense, I apologize for the mistake that has happened. I'll abide by the consequences thereof. Thank you very much.
Let's get to the practice that you run with JP.
Yeah.
You said you are the brain behind the success. Will I be wrong to say if you'll be appointed DJP, then you'll be the one running that division and it will be a successful division?
No, no, sir. The work processes in our division are such that the JP is the man in charge. The DJP and any of the judges all work under the judge president. There is no way I can run the division on behalf of the JP. Whatever thing I want to recommend, I always go through the judge presidents who must approve of everything. If I come with an innovation, it will have to go via and through the judge presidents. At no stage will I run the division.
My last question, the comment about women. Will I be wrong anytime when I see a woman? Because it presupposes that when I see a man, I see somebody who's got capacity, who's efficient, who's dynamic, who knows it all. But when I see a woman, I see somebody who still have to prove herself. And we don't have, when I see a man, I don't have a man that has left legal profession and going to other things.
No, sir, that is not the intention of my, what I said, the unfortunate utterances. When I uttered these unfortunate words, Honorable Commissioner, I was trying to talk towards the issue of the transformation of bringing women in, and I have shut off my mouth by talking about the BMWs and the things. I was just trying to indicate that very important women, including men, of course, have left the profession and they cannot, they are the people who ought to be invited at times as and when the need arises to act as judges so that we can have a pool from which next time we can appoint people.
I'm leaving by reading what you said in your previous interview.
Yes.
Honorable Commissioner, language is a tool of a judge or any person. In a responsibility position, language is a tool. It is incumbent on the judge president to understand. I'm talking about the issue of choice of language.
Yes.
And it's the very same thing that you are displaying today.
Yeah, it is so, Your Honor. I'm human. I make mistakes. I've made several mistakes today, and I apologize for that.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, let's get back to the basics. Let's get hold of time now. We had just begun, I understand, but let's tighten up the reins now. Please, Minister.
Having admonished us in advance, before I exhaust my three-question quota, may I ask for your indulgence in advance, Chief Justice, to follow on 2 points. The first one relates to another aspect of the statement that Honorable Malema confronted you with, and that is the casting of aspersion on members of the public service, regardless of the issue of gender, that people who join the public service are after certain material things, and that in fact the public service itself is out to dish out certain material benefits of the kind which are generally not readily accessible in the private sector. Now, I am concerned about the factual nature of that statement. Would you want to stand by your statement that in fact you have done an assessment and you have come to the conclusion that that statement is factually correct?
Honorable Minister, Commissioner, sir, was not casting any aspersions on the public service when I uttered these words. I was just talking about something that has happened, that I've seen happening. Not that the civil service is stealing people from the attorney's profession or the advocate's profession. The fact of the matter is,
Sorry,
Well-
Judge Kgomo, can you just answer the minister's question directly, please?
Yes.
And as briefly as you can.
thank you, Honorable Minister, thank you, Honorable Chair. As I have already admitted, it's an unfortunate situation that I said these things. I am not casting any aspersions on the public service in any way.
Okay.
I so do.
All right. The second follow-up relates to the point that is being raised by Honorable Nyambi, and that is indiscretion, apparent indiscretion on your part in the use of language, which you will agree is the most critical tool of a judge in the execution of his or her duties. Would you agree that with the years of experience on the bench, you have displayed in many ways than one that you lack discretion in the use of language? And if so, to what extent is this weakness impacting on your ability to discharge your functions as a judge generally?
I can, without any fear of contradiction, Honorable Commissioner, Minister, indicate to this Honorable Commission that in my work as a judge, as my CV would indicate, I've attached a list of decisions that I've taken. If any of them is read, my use of the language has been above par, and I have been able to do my work without any reckless use of language.
Now, let me go back to the questions that I originally intended to ask you. Now, these questions relate to some of the statements that you made where you gave very positive feedback on the new court, which in large measure I agree with you on. But having said that, and having worked in that court now, what nonetheless have you found to still be teething problems? As they say, a new broom does not sweep clean. Have you found any challenges, even in circumstances where you have a new and maybe a Mercedes-Benz court at your disposal?
Honorable Minister, Commissioner, sir, through the chair, Limpopo High Court is a new and very beautiful building, but it still has problems, hence the constructors are still on site. Now, when it rains, it still shows some leaks here and there, but they're busy working thereon. There are certain other minor aspects that have been discovered every day. Wherever we discover them, we report them to the relevant management people, and the constructors deal therewith. I still believe it will take some few months until everything is shipshape. But generally, Honorable Minister, Commissioner, say, the court is a credit to the judiciary.
Do you believe that you are the right person to support the current judge president in ensuring that there is a coordinated response between all stakeholders in responding to these teething problems? And if so, what makes you believe that you are the best person for that role?
Honorable Minister, Commissioner said through the chair and this honorable commission, I am the right person, I suppose, and believe, to be an assistant to the Judge President of the Limpopo Division. Whenever I had discovered anything that is not yet working appropriately, I've brought it to his attention. He can vouch for that on my behalf. I have never done anything unilaterally. If I discover something, it is proper and that I should bring it to the attention of his office so that because I don't meet with the stakeholders like the public works departments and things.
Pardon
He is
me,
the one.
to interject you, Chief Justice. The question was not about the earlier criticism about you taking over rather than playing a supportive role.
Yes.
I suspect that you are trying to correct that perception in answering this question, but that's not what this is about. The question I'm asking is whether you believe you have the capability to play that supportive role, and if so, how do you see yourself the best person to do that?
Honorable Minister Commissioner said through the chair and the commission, I believe I am the best person to assist and support the Judge President of the Limpopo High Court. My work ethic, my conscientiousness, my respect for authority will see to that.
Thank you, Chief Justice.
Thank you, Minister. Commissioner Schmidt.
Thank you, Chief Justice. According to Annexure B on page 23 of your nomination form, it is titled Suitability for Appointment as Judge President. I take it that Judge President not yet retired, it's Deputy Judge President. Page 23.
Yes, please.
Is that Deputy Judge President? Right on top, suitability for appointment as, I would take it to read Deputy Judge
Is
President.
Deputy Judge President.
correct.
Sir. Thank you.
If you look at page 28 or page 6 of your Annexure B, did you write this document yourself?
Yes, I did write it myself, sir.
Okay, you refer to yourself as in the third person. Applicant even arranged that he set up a motion court. But can I ask you to just explain the following statement? That you set up a motion court at Toyando for the 15th, 16th, 22nd, and 23rd January 2015 to alleviate the need, as the registrar there reported, an upsurge of some, and this is where my question comes in, of some general semi-urgent matters. I'm not sure what that means. That needed to be dealt with as by yesterday. Now, that's a confusing statement at best.
Yes.
Would you please explain that?
It was during the recess at this period, Honorable Commissioner, sir. It was the recess and I was assigned, I was on standby and doing the Toyando court at the time. And that is when quite a number of, because normally during the recess, especially in Toyando and Limpopo, only urgent matters should be dealt with in that court. So the practitioners somehow contrived to bring matters that were not urgent in the true sense of the word. That's why I've written they were semi-urgent. I had to deal with them with such because I could not have just dismissed them out of hand without having to hear them in court. And I only found that they were not urgent. They were issues they wanted to get into the system through things that were not genuinely urgent. That's what I meant. By meaning, using the term by yesterday, I was just overemphasizing that as a matter of extreme urgency.
I think I'm covered. Thank you, Chief Justice.
Thank you, Commissioner Schmidt. Commissioner Didiza.
Thank you very much, CJ. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Honorable Commissioner.
Yes, maybe going back a little bit to some of the issues that have been covered, but in a different way. You're applying for a leadership position for the DJP position.
That is correct, Honorable Commissioner.
You've also said administration is one of your strengths.
Yes.
If one were to refer to the earlier matter regarding what your subordinates have done in the support for your application, or rather nominating you for this position, what does that say about issues of control? And what does it say about issues of oversight on your part?
As far as I'm concerned, Honorable Commissioner, this that my subordinate has done would not influence the way I'm to exercise my control as well as oversight over her and any other person. It is
No.
unfortunate, but it does not in any way derogate on my duty.
Through you, Chair, I was just speaking about how you elaborated about your strengths and what you had done in your practice before, and I would have assumed that these are some of the matters that would be uppermost in the way in which you exercise your leadership. So in this instance, particularly that you actually had to sign the acceptance of a nomination that clearly you should have seen had been done incorrectly, particularly in terms of the roles of your subordinate being your PA in particular, and the access to, the access to the letterheads that she shouldn't have used. And that's why I'm asking whether or not didn't that raise issues on your part about oversight?
At the time, it did not, Honorable Commissioner, but I realize now that this ought not to have happened and it will never happen. It has opened my eyes. I've never I've never gone through this type of situation where members of the staff would nominate me. At the time, I admit and acknowledge that I dropped the ball.
With regard to the issue that JP raised earlier, what the perception might be if you were appointed in this position, given that you once had a practice together, I didn't hear quite well what your understanding or what you think that might cause in the eyes of the general public and in the profession in particular.
As the Honourable Commission pleases, I have indicated in my answer that the people of Limpopo and South Africa are intelligent people, all of them. I assume, understand that the fact that I worked with the Honourable JP in a practice of law does not make any difference when it comes to working with him in management in the High Court, because I would always respect his authority and always work in accordance with his strategic directives.
So you believe that perception won't be a factor in this case?
I don't believe it will be a factor, Honourable Chair, because they would see, those that are around, they would see that there is order, the JP's word is the final word in that division.
With regard to issues of women's emancipation and women playing a leadership role, what's your understanding of that?
Honourable Commissioner, it is important to fall in line with the general imperatives of this country and what is required. It is correct that women need to be transformed, need to be brought into the system as a matter of agency. And then I will always support any initiative that brings the right women into the right managerial positions. I am 100% behind the empowerment of women.
You will be doing only as a matter of compliance, or is it because you really believe genuinely that women can play a role in leadership positions?
I believe genuinely, Honourable Chair, that women can play an important role in the development, especially of our courts. They have always been very good judges. I've worked with women judges, and normally I've even forgotten that we forget that the women find they do better than some of us men. They are very good women in this country, Honourable Chair.
Honourable Judge, I must say that my worry in your answers earlier to several questions that my colleagues asked, you kept on saying women are still young, they need to be groomed. Those that, or you also said, we need women of substance. And I was trying to understand, what is this substance? But also, you seemed, when it came to issues of women leadership in the Limpopo division, confine it only to women in Limpopo, as though women from other divisions in the country can apply for leadership position in Limpopo. I must say that it did worry me. But I think the way you said it, it was regardless that there may be all of these women who may show potential, in your view, they are not ready. They still need grooming.
Honorable Commissioner, that is not my intention when I said that. By confining myself to I was just, as a matter of example, talking about Limpopo. It is true and so that women, even from outside Limpopo, like they're always doing now, those that, there are many women from other areas who come to act in Limpopo division. I was just saying it by way of example, but I didn't mean that we were restricting this to women in Limpopo only. I was just showing that we should bring up especially younger women also, so that they can get acclimatized with the systems from an early age. But I also mean that women in general should be given the opportunity to prove themselves.
Should I see young men who are lawyers who go and work out of the judiciary, either in public service or in private sector, driving Mercedes-Benz differently than I would see young women lawyers?
No, Honorable Commissioner. By mentioning, as I said, the issue of the motor cars, it was just by way of example, trying to illustrate that maybe they were attracted because it's a perk at such an early age to be driving such motor vehicles. Maybe. I was just mentioning that it is happening, not that it is different, that they are not entitled to do so.
If I was in Parliament, I would have asked the judge to withdraw, because that is a very sexist inference, even if made as an example.
I apologize for that, Honorable
Thank you, CJ.
Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Singh.
Thank you, Chief Justice. I'll be brief, but thank you to Commissioner Motimela for raising this issue about the nomination. Now, Judge Kgomo, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Would I be wrong to assume or even conclude that had these four people not given you this nomination on the 12th of February, which might be closer to the deadline for submission of your application, then you would not have got a nomination? And I'm saying this with the background of you've got other documents there. I note that one of the other applicants was nominated on the 3rd of February by a Madam Justice. The second candidate was nominated by the very Black Lawyers Association that you requested on the 9th of February. So it was time, yes. So I just want to go back to that question. Will I be wrong to conclude that you would not have got a nomination unless these four people had done what they did?
Indeed, Honorable Commissioner, it is common cause that had I not had this form, this document that landed on my table the day before the closing date, I would not have been here. It is a fact.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Singh. Professor Ndlama.
Thank you, CJ. Good morning, Judge Kgomo.
Good morning, Professor Commissioner.
Okay. Many of my questions have been covered, but I have two on page 15 of the questionnaire.
Yes.
Where several of your judgments have been taken on appeal.
Yes.
Even though the decision has been made so far.
Yes.
Should we be concerned about your capacity in the interpretation of the law? And secondly, whether if given an opportunity as the DJP, would you be able to monitor the jurisprudence that will come out of your division?
Honorable Commissioner, in law, my belief is when they take your decisions on appeal, it is a credit rather than a disadvantage. Because higher authority is able to look at your judgment afresh and decide whether you have done the right thing. May I mention and report that although these matters had been taken, my cases had been taken on appeal before, none of them had been overturned, meaning that jurisprudentially I am up to scratch, Honorable Commissioner.
And you were once cautioned on page 17.
Yes,
Yes, where is it now? Page 17, under question 3.
yes,
You were once questioned as an attorney.
yes.
Yes. For not replying timeously to the inquiry.
Yes, it was one incident in the 14 years that I've been an attorney when I had to appear before the Law Society on an issue where I had replied to a letter late. And I acknowledge that, and I did not waste the Law Society's time. I admitted to my fault, and I was cautioned not to repeat it. It's a fact. That's very long time ago.
Thank you, Judge Kgomo. You are excused.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioners. Thank you, Chair. Thank you.